Surprisingly highly detailed island shot. Just kicking off the start of the episode with a little bit of mystery, no over-the-top exposition needed.
僕の名前は中島七尾。都会からこの絶海の孤島の学園に転校してきて半年になる。
Connie from Attack on Titan. Using these couple of minutes to introduce the life of Connie, showing how he is bullied by the stronger members of the class due to having seemingly no abilities. It also serves to show some level of early world building at the same time. Credit where it's due, there's an obscene amount of detail in these environmental scenes. I mean, look at this last bit with the trees and grass.
それもこれも
人類の敵と戦うためだ。今から50年ほど前に出現した敵は人の世に紛れ我々の命を脅かし続けている。
Now setting up the big reveal very early on, but doing so in a light-hearted way, which is quite unexpected. His voice acting has a tinge of humour behind it, and the students look at ease. It's well played to make the viewer lower their guard.
小野寺京也だ。言わなきゃならない決まりでもあるのか。
Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen and Bucciolati from JoJo.
でもちょっと空気は読めません。よろしくお願いします。
Unexpected comedic art style change, which I'm always a big fan of.
中島さんがいじめられてるんですか？あ、ごめんなさい。つけつけとつい聞こえちゃって。
This new student and her very unique power in the things she says.
こいつ無能だからおかしいでしょ。この学校には能力者しかいないのにさ。
これから習うと思うけど、巨大なやつとか人の姿をしたやつもいるんだ。
それにあなたは中島さんを出しにして私とデートしたいと思ってるようですが、お断りします。
I really liked this moment. She stuck up for him. They revealed that he's in a class with powerful students, even though he seemingly has no power, which is odd to them, whilst also revealing about the different forms the enemy can take. That was a lot to condense into a small scene, but they did it well, and it flowed very nicely. How do you keep on getting the environments to look so good, though?
すみません。学級委員長を決めるというお話でしょうか。委員長といえばリーダーのことですよね。
I don't know what's going to come, but at the same time, she's super endearing to the viewer. I really like how she's pushed their desks together back there as well.
そもそも皆さんは実際に人類の敵を見たり戦ったりしたことがあるんですか？
うん先生もないよ実物は。
ですよね中島さん。
何がですよねなの？僕はいいよ。
Her response there was an absolute thing of beauty. Made me laugh likely way harder than they ever thought it would.
トップを取ってこい。我が家で一番無能なお前についに活躍の機会が訪れたな。
Learning about his childhood and how he was looked down upon by even his own family members gives a damn good insight into his life, past and present, and at the same time answers the question as to why he was called the leader mockingly.
僕の心を読んだのか知らないけどさ。
Not walking on the spot.
学費はもちろん、寮の水道光熱費とか全部国から出てるはずだよ。
They have absolutely no right whatsoever to be creating food that looks so genuinely tasty. Recently I've been noticing and praising a lot of indoor environments too. They're often overlooked, but a lot of detail goes into them to create the scene, and this anime deserves props for doing just that and making things look authentic to the story.
そのまんま人の声が聞こえるんです。ふとした時に聞こえることもあれば、集中して奥底の声を探ることもできます。
へえ、すごいね。
敵はもうここまで来ていて、勇者が成長する前に目をつむつもりだと。そんなまさか。
Massively unexpected plot twist.
ありがとうございます。
何があったの？
The fact that she's still alive. I kind of thought they'd suddenly do away with her as a shock plot twist, but she's okay.
食堂に忘れてましたよ。帰り道になって気づきまして。
こんな時間にまさか探しに行ってくれたのかな？
Something doesn't feel quite right, but I'm consistently put at ease by her kind nature on display, like right here. A super surprisingly highly detailed sequence right there for the start of the battle, boy! I'm honestly shocked. I didn't think they'd pull out the stops like that. That was smooth. In fact, they can have 2 wins for that. Bruh, seriously, there's some massively unexpectedly great looking animation shots in this. What's going on? That was freaking sick!
だから
すごい能力じゃないですか。
Kawaii.
クラスのみんなをまとめられるのはやっぱり中島さんしかいないですよ。
Two absolutely stunningly detailed scenes right there. Kind of reminds me of how they do that at the end of some Hunter x Hunter episodes.
僕が今何を考えてるか当ててみてよ。これからもよろしくね。
僕は今からこの子に殺されなければならないのか。
Well, that was absolutely ridiculously amazing. Naturally, they'll get 2 max wins. That's probably one of the best plot twists I've ever come across. Also, take a win here for these couple of minutes where she explains that she did not in fact read his mind on one single occasion and instead deduced it all via logical reasoning.
人類のために死んでください。
And a final one here for the end of a shocking first episode as we learn that people like her are out to take out this class before they can grow too powerful. A super enjoyable OP right there, and the singer's voice, I just can't quite place it, but I've definitely heard it before, as she has a really unique style. Anyway, I love the song, as you can tell, that was right up my street, and the visuals were really nicely done too, especially in how they handled the editing, showing different sides to everyone. Loved it! The start of the episode shockingly revealing that humans sometimes awaken to their powers and then destroy everything around them, and now it's painting the story as one to take these people out. A complete 180 from the first episode, and done incredibly well, I'd say.
5年にわたる血みどろの戦争には人類側が勝利した。
Massive amounts of credit here for actually deep diving on the war that preceded the events of the anime, showing scenes of war and destruction, really building the story in an intelligent and captivating way.
集められた人間たちは人類の敵と呼ばれる怪物と戦うために日夜訓練に明け暮れている大半の国民は信じている。
Credit here as well for the full reveal of this plot twist. Like, that's outstanding in all honesty to pull the rug out like that.
水深5メートルはあったはずの池があらゆる物理法則を無視してきれいに凍りついている。
Getting a first proper look at her internal monologue and what she's really feeling and thinking about these students and their abilities.
ではその気になれば私も氷漬けにできますか？
お望みとあらば可愛い君を永遠に可愛いまま氷の棺に閉じ込めてあげるよ。
今のは嘘だ。
フェアじゃないからね。
こいつの嘘のサインはわかりやすい。
Just like from the previous win, it's good to understand more about how she deduces things and targets people, finding out about their powers in really intriguing ways.
誰がリーダーだとかそんなことどうでもいいじゃないですか。過去に戻れるだけです。過去を変えた結果が現在に反映されるだけです。
Another unique power ada! Also though, Kirishima from My Hero.
モグオの時は男の胸ぐらをつかむ前の時間に戻りモグオを殴りつけたということか。
I find these explanations stupidly interesting and entertaining.
その能力で中島の失踪を調べてくれないか。
君は
中島の部屋は俺の隣だ。部屋の壁は薄いのに昨べは物音一つ聞こえなかった。
A very swift turn of events, and in all honesty, with everything that happened recently, I totally forgot about this dude. Also credit for going really wacky with the editing here, giving us a different look this episode.
どこで何をしていたんだ。
Oh, it's getting tense, boy. He's investigating.
悩みが晴れたというか人類の敵と戦うんだって。
Symbolism.
人の姿。
どうしました柊さん。
いえ京也さんそんなまさか。
まあ彼は要注意ですね。
ひとまず追及は避けられそうだな。
一緒に調べましょう。
Props to her voice actor for being able to switch from cool, calm and collected internally or cruel at the end of episode 1 with malice in her voice to here acting as the scared schoolgirl.
確かに中島君は昨日から寮に戻っていないようですね。
他にも何か制限があるはずだ。でなければこいつはすでに私の中島殺しを暴いているはず。しかしなぜだ。なぜこいつは過去に戻ったのに中島の足取りを一度で全て見てこられなかったんだ。
Again, I have to say that's such a cool ass ability, but 50% of this win is because, again, I'm just oddly enjoying watching her putting things together about their powers. It's really weirdly entertaining.
頑張っても24時間前までしか戻れません。時間が経てば経つほど真実が遠ざかります。
Cannot explain why I find it so oddly thrilling, but I really do. I'm on the edge of my seat. I want him to find out the truth, but at the same time, I like the lad. I don't want him to end up getting taken out by her once she's figured him out. Help!
昨晩の時点では池は水のままだった。泳げない上にまず溺れ死ぬと踏んだが誰も水死体には気づかず、今朝と同じように池は凍りついたか。
In many ways, dealing with him like this is genius, because she knew exactly what she was doing, and it ended in his quiet demise off screen, and then her explanation of events. Wow! As usual, just lovely music and pretty calm, but at the same time, devastating images of a broken world that she comes from, then mixing with scenes of the students just living a decent and happy life, providing quite the contrast, really. But again, the song is awesome.
なんでわかったの？
ですから心の声が。
朝から大雨だったが、なぜかお前は右半身だけが濡れている。そっちの女の子は体の左側だけだ。例えば一つの傘に二人で入って登校してきた。
Ah, she's met a match right there with him. He's also hyper observant, and kudos as well for providing these clues prior to this scene as well, as I went back and checked and they showed from like 3 angles that he was only half wet.
わざわざ温めて餌をあげているのか。
Being nice to animals is always a win, but at the same time, please don't give cats milk. Most of them get upset stomachs from it in spite of heavy media pushing that they love it.
俺の友達になってくれ。友達といえばゲームだと思ってな。そこの棚に着せ替え人形もあるが、そちらで遊ぶか。
Well, never thought that this would end up happening, so take a very confused plot twist win. Although I'm sure there's more to it than meets the eye. They're trying to trick me again, right?
オラついてるってどういう意味だ？オラついてるの意味だ。
オラオラしてるというか S っ気があるというか横柄な感じというか。わからない。なんだこいつ。
学校も軍隊みたいなところを想像していたんだが、訓練といっても大したことをしているようには見えないし、生徒たちもほとんど野放しにされてるじゃないか。
I'm really pleased that someone has noticed this and then gone on to verbalize it, as it felt very odd to me that no one had really noted how they're not really being trained per se.
ところで、ちょっと気になることがあってな。見覚えないか？
Plot twist! I knew there was more going on! Go on, get her, boy!
考え事をするとな、何かをいじってたくなるんだ。スベスベして手触りがいい。それ、触っても。
やめてください!
It's really awesome that in spite of being the kind of anime that it is, that they still make time every now and then for comedy moments. Like, this was flat out funny, and it definitely serves to keep showing another side to her.
お前さん、心の声が聞こえるんじゃないのか？俺の能力も聞いてみればいい。
疑われている。
Never thought the anime would be able to have me root for a new character so soon after episode 1, but I think it's because this guy is just a pretty well written character, but most of all, he's a badass and he's cool.
生徒たちのそれぞれの能力が分かれば任務もやりやすくなるのですが。
長年の実践データからお前のような人間を送り込むのが最善と判断されたのだ。
Putting a great deal of thought into covering up potential plot holes during this scene, going over why they do things the way they do them when seemingly there are easier options, so I'm glad they took the time to cover this. Another not running on the spot!
つまりおそらく京也は気づかない。
昨日は窓を開けて出たはず。
Goodness me, this anime doesn't half have some plot twists, I swear!
なぜ市場に駆けつけられた？
無傷。
心が読めるのに知らなかったのか？俺が不老不死であることは これからもよろしくな。
必ず暴いてやる。
That is so awesome! He's like the worst opponent for her, not only because of his brain, but because of his self-healing ability. That is amazing! In fact, that gets the anime a max 2 wins.
京也を仕留め損なった以上、京也はいつまでも自分が襲われたことを主張するだろう。
柊、このバカどもに何か言ってやってくれ。
面倒なのはやはり京也だ。
I gotta admit, this for me is seriously unique for an anime. I've never seen anything quite like it, so I'm really enjoying this dual aspect to the show. Her trying to take them out, him piecing everything together, and seemingly cannot be taken out. It's great!
傷が癒えた。
Yet another unique talent だ。
みちるさん、あなたあの二人にからかわれてたんです。朝から嫌な感じの心の声がずっと聞こえてまして。
How is this anime actually so clever though?
やけに音がでかいのは廊下にいる俺に気づかれずに窓から外に出るためか。
How is this dude actually so clever though?
同じ手口。なぜだ。ターゲットを油断させるため。動機はわからない。わからないが。
Also, have a win here for putting in place this obstacle so early on in the anime. Like, it's really got me wondering where things are going to go from here. It's excellently adding massive amounts of tension. It's perfect!
お前は私を疑っていた。だから殺人者の私は被害者の枠に身を隠そうと思った。これからは私がリーダーになり、学校を支配する。
So firstly, this is a definitely unexpected plot twist. One of many. I'm getting used to them now. They come thick and fast, but most importantly, I'm really happy he didn't immediately stop suspecting her. That's clever.
透明な姿で音もなく忍び寄れるというのに、なぜ俺たちが駆けつけたくらいで逃亡したのか。
He's so freaking awesome!
私は悔しいです。私には敵の声を聞けるという能力があったのに。
Another fine example of her voice actor's abilities. In many ways, she's a little bit like the main character from Sama Spider So What, in that she had to produce a wide range of different styles and emotions for this one, whereas it's normally relatively straightforward in most anime for the most part.
ねえリーダー、ちょっと話があってきたんだけど、まあ鳥も未来がわかるんだけど。
未来がわかる？
俺どういうこと？
This anime has the best damn plot twists! That's nuts! Get out of it!
ナナちゃんこそなんで俺を殺そうとすんの？
ですから何かの間違いですよ。
中島を殺したのに？
What an incredible end to the episode with yet another twist. I'm so twisted up in knots here I can barely move and write this script!
どうすれば信じてもらえるんですか？
俺彼女いないんだよね。
Damn it! Unexpected!
今殺そうとすれば何らかの運命的な力が働いて失敗するとでも。
Adding in this little tidbit was most needed and is excellent as a storytelling mechanic because logically you'd be wondering why she doesn't take him out right now. Maybe why is he so relaxed and knowing what she is? But of course that's all swept aside by him knowing that his fate absolutely cannot be changed, so he's safe tonight.
んじゃ彼女として部屋の掃除でもしてくんねえかな。
なんて間の悪いことだ。今常吉に襲いかかれば。
Just another quick and good example of building the indoor scene, making it actually look like his room. They've done this on 3 different occasions now, and each time there's some dedication in there.
こりゃ隠したくもなるよな。
きっと何かの間違いです。
She is so irritatingly clever when it comes to building a plan of attack and throwing others off the scent. I mean, that's clearly not where she hid the photo. I'm onto you!
早くね。なんちゃって。
This was totally unexpected!
何よ。
さっき揉み合った時にな。
I always enjoy realism, and them showing him quickly trying to get back up after she pushed him down was well done and obviously required extra animation, so kudos.
柊、何してるんだ？
How are you gonna keep pulling out plot twists like this though? God, this anime is great, I'm constantly falling off the metaphorical edge of my seat!
私が殺されている写真の他に何かありましたか？
それがどうした？他に見られたらまずい写真でもあったのか？
This dude is a tense-making machine, I swear, and I really love how they always show him getting in her face when he's trying to figure her out as well. Just adds yet more tension.
京也に見られなかったとは運が良かった。
おや、柊。部屋で休んでるかと思ったが。
Okay, I can't keep on banging on and on about it forever, so I'm actually dropping 2 max wins here for the sheer volume of just totally unexpected twists in the story. Things rarely ever happen as I think they will, and I've got massive praise for that. So have 2, and I'll save further ones for huge plot twists.
マジ運命やべってのが俺の人生のパンチラインだとか。パンチラインってなんだ？
Also, it definitely gets another one here for just occasionally keeping things light with bits of humour, like here with this art style change. It gives a nice break from the doom and gloom, and especially allows for a bit of character building, which is a rare way of doing it.
あれれ？何か見ちゃいましたか？
I can't believe that I just wrote what I wrote 2 wins back and then this happens! I can't ignore that one! It gets one! It has to!
どうやらもともと私と中島さんの仲が良かったのが気に入らなかったみたいで。
In many ways, this anime is actually filled to the brim with what I call JoJo moments, where you have no clue how they can possibly get out of a situation before suddenly doing it. So many times now I've thought, ha! They've got her! And she finds a way out of it every single time. Extremely clever writing.
どうか安らかに眠らせてあげましょう。
相棒とかめんどくさいことしないでさ、死体に直接聞いてみればいいんじゃない？なんだと？
あ、待って待って。みんな引いてるみたいだけど、シンジは別に悪いやつじゃないからね。
Rico from Made in Abyss. I love sudden art style changes. Nothing will ever beat Mob Psycho 100 though.
でも中にシンジが取り残されてるって思ったら、非常口のドアにドーンとタックルして押し開けてたよね。
I appreciate the writers throwing us off the scent all the time by building other characters, giving them a backstory and revealing their troubles in life and so on, because by doing so, there's always this lingering feelings that they're going to survive, but they rarely do.
ナナさんに感謝ですよ。京也さん、ありがとうございました。
Kawaii cat!
シンジと同じように眠りながら死んでいけ。
全部シンジが見ててくれたんだ。
油断した。今私を押さえつけている人間こそが本当の怪力の持ち主だからだ。ということはネクロマンサーはシンジではなく。
This is also one of my top 5 plot twists thus far, because it's the first time someone has actually been able to get the jump on her, and then they topped it even further by revealing that Shinji's no longer with us, and she is in fact the one who can control the deceased. Grab a win for this episode as you head out the door. It was very interesting to learn of her personality disorder and her weird way of coping, and most of all, I adored seeing the tables turned, although I doubt it'll last long, on top of learning more about her true past.
今までの言動からもロマンチストだと読み取れる。
聞きたくないですか？好きだった男の子の。
Seriously, boy, you can't tell me that that vocal range isn't impressive. Like, she legit sounded like 2 different people right there and so close together. That was really close. So much tension in the air this episode, and yet more not running on the spot because they're not cutting any corners like a bunch of legends.
学校の先生だった人とか生徒の能力者もいてね。
Oh, that's so awesome!
確かに島は長い間人類の敵の隔離施設だったようだが、能力者同士で争いでもあったのか。
Using this moment to do a little bit of world building, like dropping the idea that there was perhaps a civil war between the previous talented on the island, or perhaps another prior incident involving someone like herself. I really enjoy lore like that.
ベッドの下見なかったの？もう襲ってるよ。
あらら、間に合わなかったか。
行こうか。
そうそう、全く光を届かないようにしておけば、
この状況でかかっていくわけないじゃん。
ここに奈々ちゃんを閉じ込めてさ、また夜を待つのが確実じゃない？小屋を補強しようと頑張ったんだろうけど、裏目に出ちゃったね。帰っ
ってお風呂入って学校行こうっと。
She as a character can actually have a win because she is smart enough to know when to retreat and not push her luck. She's actually proven herself to be one of the most intelligent on the island thus far, and I can appreciate that on top of her awesome talent.
どういうこと？逃げられたっていうの？いいから死体を総動員して辺りを探すぞ。
This really is like JoJo. I can't figure out what's happened for the life of me. It's got me genuinely so confused right now.
外鍵の留め具のねじ釘をあらかじめ抜いておくのに必死になっていたとは思わないだろう。
ガムテープで隠してたってこと？留め具に釘が打ち込まれてないってバレないように。
Oh, bloody hell. Okay, fair play. And well played.
ひどいよ。ひどすぎる。私はただシンジと一緒にいられればそれでよかったのに。
That was honestly quite emotional and was unexpected. Perhaps it was seeing him there kind of physically changing in the sun, the love of her life. It's really sad if you think about it.
そうまでして隠したい秘密は何だ？
違う！私が殺したんじゃない！私は火をつけただけ！火ももっと他に欲しかったけど嫌われてたから近づけなくて。
You cannot keep on pulling that rug out from underneath me. It's becoming a health and safety issue. I'm liable to hurt my tush or something at this rate. All jokes aside, I really cannot express how much I enjoy twists like this. Nothing is really straightforward, whether it's others' actions, their powers, their weaknesses, and any number of other stuff. Gonna avoid directly showing it, but the anime went very dark, showing various zombies now melting away, and not gonna lie, it was pretty rank.
瞬間移動で飛んできたようですが、隠れてないできちんとお話しされたらどうですか？いいですよね。携帯のロックナンバーを教えてくれれば解毒剤を渡します。
Goodness me, she's really not messing around now, is she? She's taking him out like crazy!
しまった。瞬間移動か。するとメッセージを送るタイミング、いや京也に監視されている状況なら。
Another clever element to the anime was having her not be always self-assured of her next path. She often hesitates and gets caught up in thought, and by doing that, it makes her vulnerable to us the viewer. Way too much dedication to animating multiple characters within one scene to go by without a win.
ゆうかちゃんは操られていたんだと。だからこそ最後には私の説得が通じたんです。
漫画なら嫌いじゃない展開だな。優香が死んだ時、柊はどこにいた？誰かが死ぬ時、いつも柊の所在は不明だ。
He's finally starting to step up the accusations, and that's ideal to me, because otherwise it would have started to get quite close to a point where I'd be thinking, yeah, you've watched her long enough now, tell someone, and luckily they stopped that train of thought before it left the station.
体温は残っているし、死後硬直もまだだ。死後2時間以内。
私の所在が何でしたっけ？京也さん。
心が読める柊なら、ギャルにコンタクトをつける習慣があったと知っていてもおかしくはない。
This was yet another JoJo situation. I was left wondering how she'd pulled that one off, and then the reveal is so painfully simple with the contact lenses. I love it, but I don't know, I feel dumb, I tell you.
もう京也さんの冗談には慣れましたよ。
そう。連日連夜柊は動きっぱなしのはずだ。
It's a strange win, I'll grant you that, but all the same, I'm enjoying an element that's pretty similar to Love is War, where they're acting one way and then thinking another all the time. Just here, the stakes are much higher and more in depth, obviously, but it's good how it's portrayed throughout.
高梨香織みたいなギャルとも仲良くしてたんだろ？
私ですか？いえ。
私はなんという不自然な行動を。私は何のためらいもなく窓を左に引いて開けてしまった。窓の立て付けが悪く、左側の窓が開かないと知っていたということになる。
I cannot stress this enough, they do these bits so well. I've said before about tension and everything, but the way they build it and handle it from an animation and editing point of view is brilliant too.
ずっと俺たちと一緒にいた柊がこのメールを送れるわけがないと。も
うやめてください。
下がった色犬かい。やはり柊が犯人だ。
I have no clue what's going on, but I'm absolutely bloody hyped!
私の能力は人や敵の心の声が無作為に聞こえたり聞こえなかったりするだけなんです。
なら指だけ切り落として指紋認証に使っ。
It really is like Love is War, you know, without the mutual love. I just mean star-wise.
あの地形ならば 直接日光がゾンビに降り注ぐ送信ボタンにかかっていた指が溶けた時にメッセージが送信される。
That's actually really clever. Like, yeah, we'd never guess it as viewers unless you're 1 in a million, but it makes sense, and it was fully explained in prior episodes, so it's not just a case of making stuff up.
ナナさんは優香ちゃんのことで傷ついてたんです。なのにあんまりです。
すまなかった。
滑稽だね。僕らの中で疑心暗鬼の種が生まれるのは避けたいと言ったのは。
それからみんな仲良くしてほしいと。決して仲間を疑わないでほしいと。
This is physically painful, bruh. Well played writing the characters in the scene like this. It makes me legit furious that they're giving him a hard time, defending her, and she's now spouting off like that. Ah!
足が見張ってますので、どうぞ休んでください。
常吉や香織を助けようとしたり、妙な女の子だな。こいつらは人類の敵だ。優香な例もある。しかし中島のような例もあった。
Bringing a bit of character development in here, perhaps having her second guess herself a little, a bit more on the nose this time than before with the zombie girl and her holding onto the pack containing her love's grade paper. Just shows that there's more to this anime than simply her taking everyone out and him trying to stop her.
人の心読めるんですよね。ではなぜ今まで気づかなかったんだ？
Okay, you really got me on this plot twist, you devious little goose you. That's to my mind a god level plot twist alert and highly deserving of 2 max wins because it's fair to say I didn't see that coming 116 miles off. 117? Maybe, but not 160. Nearly held it together.
明日からもいつも通り仲良くしましょうね。
I find it oddly refreshing to see her drop the act entirely with someone for a change. Well, almost entirely, for sure the most up till this point, and it's also sprinkled quite a bit of mystery onto this episode as a result.
どうしました？心読めるんですよね？明日にもまた聞く。心の声が聞こえたり聞こえなかったりするという言い訳が。うまくみちるちゃんの声だけが聞き取れず。わからないんですか？
One of the best parts of this anime for me has to be how the dynamic keeps on changing depending on who she is having to deal with and at the same time how their relationships further affect her. Like, for example, here she is to everyone else in the class essentially Nana's best friend, and she has everyone on her own side too, which makes this super interesting as a result to see how she navigates this new challenge.
本当に聞こえているんです。今もナナちゃん大好きという声が。
俺らも突っ込んでいいのかどうか。
なのに張り紙に書かれた文字は知ってたし、僕らの心の声は聞こえていたわけだ。
Her intelligence and ability to think on her feet desperately needs nerfing. She did it again!
変身能力の類なのでしょ？よりによって非力なみちるちゃんに化けていてはまた怪我をしますよ。
私は立花仁。
Yeah, I just cannot let that go by without a win. That's so clever. I never see it coming. I really thought she'd just done a 180 with her personality for some reason. I'm calling it now. This anime is #1 for plot twists for me, I think.
何のお話でしょう？
私は君を断罪するカードを何枚か持っているということだ。
This really is a fantastic example of something I mentioned just recently, how she's forced by events unfolding as she targets or interacts with new foes to have to navigate different waters all the time. By doing this, it's always giving each new episode a different feel.
友人としてできうる限り埋葬したのだがね、佐々木優香に掘り起こされてしまった。5年前、私たちは自然と殺し合いを始めた。強いものほど恐怖をばらまいてしまう。次第に私たちは何人かのグループに分かれ争った。
I'm very happy that they didn't just brush over those zombies and instead revealed more about how they play a part in this story. And I must say, that was some gorgeous tasting lore I was fed with. Just sounds like the last days of Rome. It's nuts!
私の顔を見た途端、念仏を唱えたよ。私は人類の敵と戦って死んだことになっていたのだ。私は祖母に別れを告げて旅に出た。
Yet more lore, as we learn that soon after his arrival back home, it became abundantly clear that humanity had attempted to erase him from the world, and when that failed, it seems they actively pursued him as shown here. Man, I really enjoy lore and world building like that.
すみませんが、
飲み物に毒が入っていることにも気づかないような先輩とはちょっと。
私は5年前の生き残りだ。私の死を誰に報告するの？
今日よ。
なるほど。この端末に秘密が詰まっているのだね。
Okay, so firstly, take a win here for a double plot twist. I didn't see either of these events happening, although I wish they'd have shown more as to how she poisoned him. And secondly, have a win here, as always, for skipping the ED in favour of more juicy content.
マジシャンはショーの初めにわざと失敗して観客の傲慢を買うという。
先ほど能力者同士における争いには
私という例外が。
こいつ本物の人類の敵。化け物だ。
Yeah, I think we can all agree that that equals 2 fat wins. The reveal was excellently timed. They tricked me more than once, and then we learned that he's basically like a god with all the powers he commands. That was amazing. They love animating running, and I love them for it. It's so much extra effort, but they keep on doing it. It's not used often, but when it is, I'm blown away by the amount of work that goes into these attack effects. Especially here, as the fact that it's nighttime is taken into account.
私が物心つく前に家を出ていましたから。父は能力者関連の庶務を扱う省庁に勤めていました。母は幼稚園の先生です。二人とも殺されました。人類の敵によって。
Hats off to them for finally giving us an understanding of why she took this mission on, which I feared would go unanswered, but now it makes a lot more sense. And also, credit for adding world building as we hear about her father's job working with the talented.
ずっと看病してくれてたんですね。
こういう時のためにミチルを生かしておいてるんだ。
Little moments like this can be quite telling in how they're phrased and voiced, since clearly it's more of a case that she's convincing herself right here, showing that there's some self-doubt in her about the mission.
ちょっと顔洗ってきます。
Then you cement in that bit of character building by following it up with this comedic scene and that genuine smile done for no one's benefit since she was alone. Very clever.
つい気を許してしまいそうになるが、裏があるのだろうな。優香のように。
Not only getting way more of an understanding of her childhood and what happened with her parents, which I won't directly show, but then also getting more character building again, like here.
ほら、猫ちゃんも聞きたいみたいですよ。
本当に聞きたがっているのだろう。
Okay, I know that's a dude in there, but I'd be a cruel monster if I didn't win that for being adorable.
私の子供部屋はいつも散らかってました。将棋やチェスの駒、おはじきが床一面にばらまかれてて、帰ってきた私は漫画を読みふけり、そのまま着替えもせずに寝てましたね。だから窓の鍵だって閉め忘れていました。私のせいであんなことに。
This was a flat-out great moment, really deep diving into her background, which I thought they might not do, and then we got this genuinely touching moment as well. That was awesome!
私ではない。私以外に殺人犯がいる。
Sudden end of episode, there's another murderer-related plot twist of concern and worry! For likely one of the final times, I love the effort they put into set designs. It's always perfect to my mind.
じゃあ俺から。
私、柊奈々、魔豪さんって素敵。
参ります。
It is certainly few and far between due to the nature of the anime, but when they do stuff like this, I do find it very impressive. It's clear they worked hard on it each time.
ナナさんのこともすぐに気に入って。私の両親が殺された話をしたばっかりですよね。
何を感情をあらわにしてしまったんだ。 私は。
One thing Talentless Nana is doing a great job of recently is extensive character building, and it was much needed and very well timed in my opinion. It's also not been surface level, there's some depth to it, and some of it is also quite subtle, such as showing the locked window, or knowing how she now keeps her room spotless after the death of her parents, and how she blames herself. But they didn't beat us over the head with it via exposition, it was just there.
そうだ、小野寺君。君の講義のおかげか、近々本土からお偉いさんが視察に来てくれるってさ。
お偉いさんだと。
Nice little simple twist right there in the lead up to the final episodes. They're really ramping up the tension now towards the end and doing it in very clever ways.
死が殺されたのはおそらくモグオリサイタルの最中だ。殺害現場の物陰には明かりに誘われた虫が隠れていた。
気づいていたか。12時以降何者かが忍び込んだ可能性は？
寝込みを襲ってわざわざ部屋の電気をつける理由がわからんだろう。
I gotta say, as a massive fan of the Phoenix Wright games, I do find myself loving bits like this when they happen, seeing the story play out, and it's even better because for the first time they're both on the same side.
二人だけの秘密ができた。嬉しいな。信頼してもらってるのかな。そういえばナナちゃんのこと私全然知らないな。もっと力になりたいな。がいいかな。どうしたら喜んでくれるかな。
Oh, not gonna lie, that whole scene was just straight up lovely and had some truly beautiful music behind it as well, making it an even more emotional affair.
彼女、随分とお風呂が長くないかね。
みちるちゃん。
This here is getting an end of episode win because it was set up so well by using the prior scene with the diary. That was just great writing through and through.
脈は弱いし、熱も尋常じゃない。風邪なのかわかりませんが、とりあえずアセトアミノフェン系の経口薬を。
詳しいんだな。
一般知識かと。くそ。あとは何より水だな。それに食塩と砂糖を少し。栄養のために野菜や卵も。
Won't risk showing it, so instead I'll show this bit. But her helping her just really betrays her true feelings. In fact, her relationship here is probably the single greatest showing of her character growth within the story.
みちるちゃんの着替えを探して私が。
ほう。机の引き出しに着替えは入ってないだろ
う。He's so bloody observant, I love it!
で、助けてやってくれと言わんばかりに泣いてまして。
猫。 立花か。
治療は間に合って猫ちゃんたちは元気に部屋を出ていた。
Oh, she saved a badly injured cat like a legend.
こんな怪我は放っておいても治ります。能力を使うと寿命が縮むんでしょうに。だから倒れてたんじゃないんですか。丸一日寝込んでたんですよ。
Well, that was brilliant. A clear and unadulterated look into how she really feels towards her. She didn't save her because of her mission. She didn't sit by her bed all night just to find out what she knows. She deeply cares for her, and it was fantastic to finally see that fully on display here.
どれ、私がセットしてあげましょう。やめてくださいなら。
Ah, it's so adorable seeing her like this for the first time. She's just having genuine fun with her and it warms my heart, but I highly doubt it'll last long, sadly.
報告によれば柊奈々はすでに5、6人程度は殺していると見ていい。
本当に先生自ら視察に赴かれるのですかな。
無論だ。ナナは俺の家族も同然なのだから。
If there was one thing that I thought would honestly make this anime much better, it was definitely giving us some world building and expanding upon the story like right here. I'm loving this. Also though, the amazing Kaiju Fujiwara, who voiced Leorio from Hunter x Hunter and many others, and who sadly passed away in 2020. God, this woman is a wins machine when she keeps on helping out little cats and pups, I swear. Also, learning more about her history, her friendship which saved her, and everything else. Just nice to keep filling in these backstories really, as I've said before.
ちなみにこれ、カツラだったんだよ。
ひとみちゃんは癌に侵されていたんです。それも私と出会う前から。私がいじめられないように学校に来てくれてたんですが、治療で進展しなきゃいけないのに。
ここでまた お前に会えてよかったよ。
ひとみちゃんは亡くなりました。私の能力は何の役にも立ちませんでした。だから頑張るんです。
I don't even know the girl, but that's just plain old sad, man. Not only that, but she would have been obviously devastated learning that she couldn't cure illnesses when they talked about it. A last win for episode 12 for showing how deeply she's struggling with this one, and rightly so, man. That was an amazing scene prior, really emotional, and I felt that.
注意してた人がお部屋の片付けまでしておいて、それを忘れるでしょうか。ナナちゃんのご両親のことですから優しかったんでしょうね。
私がだらしなくて不用心だったという事実は揺るがないのです。
それでもナナちゃんのせいじゃないです。ナナちゃんは普通に遊んでいただけなんですよね。
これがミチルが連日浮かない顔をしていた答え。ずっと私を慰めようと。
I can only say, really, that was an unexpectedly fantastic scene. So kind is this young girl that she actually used her head and figured out that Nana wasn't at fault for her parents' death all along. And it was just such a damn good scene.
もう苦しまないでください。私は何があってもナナちゃんの味方です。
That music and that whole warm feel and vibe to the scene just got me then. Whoo!
好きな男でもできたのか？
何言ってるんですか？
そろそろ犯人を詰めようと思うから。
They've done such a good job at the end of the last episode and the start of this one, I almost forgot about everything else that was going on.
俺だ。
ありがとうございます。
なすべきことをなせ。以上だ。
It's a nice touch to add bits and pieces like this, as it shows her fear of him and snapping back into a military mode just by hearing his voice, doing actions he can't even see.
ナナちゃんのことは
美しいですね。まあ、死んでください。
She saved her just in time, get out of it!
私はずっとお前を見下してた。ずっと便利な犬だと思ってた。今までだって何度も利用していたんだぞ。
Obviously she's doing it for good reason to force her into fleeing, but credit for superb voice acting, as she belted out those lines and saved her only friend. That for me was one of my favourite moments, because I just adore how it was done. Him suddenly not being able to breathe, and you just knew it was him targeting the body elsewhere.
何してるの？
大丈夫。できる。
まさか。
絶対に助けるんだ。ナナちゃんはいい人なんだから。
やめてよ。私はいい人なんかじゃない。
もうちょっとだから。ナナちゃんを返してください。
Ah, such a beautiful moment. Not only voice actor wise, story wise, but also visually with that gorgeous golden glow. They can have 2 max wins for that. A true friendship born between them.
やだ。
Then this incredibly sad ending. She was so good a person that she gave her life over to save her friend. That's brutal, man. Wow. Well, that'll do it for this video, ladies and gents. I thought it was good, albeit ending a little abrupt. I'd have liked more of a conclusion, but it's obviously not ended yet, and it has to be stopped somewhere, so I get it. I hope you all very much enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to help me out. Naturally, as always down below, you can pledge on my Patreon and vote in content, and of course I'll see you in whatever video you choose to watch next.
Bird Without a Word, Nathan Burr, Ali 50, Darth Weirdo, Isael Caldera, Tyler, Ted L, Josh, Matt the Marshmallow, Kieran Robinson, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Steelers, Matthew Blanchett, Kim Munt, Manuel Mireles, Carnito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzclow, Aurakeeper, Kepan, Jeffa6263, Magnus, Kevin Nauta, Brendan Krier, The Epic Commander, Sentimento, Gaten 2000, Storm 970, Inakami and Water, Kaj Vorzelman, Sebastian Ramirez, Your Edvinson, Leaf Arn Hammer, Marquez.